Imagine waking up one morning to discover that a centuries-old island has vanished. Not sunk, not eroded, not destroyed. Gone. Completely erased from the ocean as if it never existed. For 400 years, explorers, cartographers, and even governments agreed on one thing: Bermeja Island was real. But when the search for it became tied to billions of dollars in oil rights, Mexico sent ships to verify its exact location. What they found shocked the world, because when the Navy arrived, there was nothing there. Just endless crimson water, and a silence so unnatural that even the waves felt afraid.
The story of Bermeja begins in the 16th century when Spanish explorers charted it along Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a legend. It appeared on dozens of official maps, drawn by different people across different eras. And here's the chilling part. Despite the primitive navigation tools of the time, every map placed Bermeja in almost the same location. Sailors reported a small reddish island, a place where the ocean felt strangely warm, and compasses spun for no reason. Local fishermen refused to go near it. They believed it was cursed, a place not meant for humans. But explorers ignored the warnings and documented Bermeja again and again. So if the island existed for centuries, how did it vanish? Fast forward to the 20th century. The world is modern. Satellites orbit the Earth. GPS reveals every reef, every rock, every grain of sand in the ocean. But when Mexican scientists look for Bermeja, they can't find it. The coordinates on the old maps were checked, rechecked, checked again. And yet, the island that was once impossible to miss was suddenly impossible to find. Even stranger, old maritime logs mention that ships would hear humming near the island, as if the water itself vibrated. Some sailors described seeing lights beneath the waves, moving in patterns too structured to be natural. But all those clues, all those warnings were forgotten until oil changed everything. Mexico and the United States were negotiating massive oil rights in the Gulf. And here's the twist. If Bermeja existed, Mexico would gain a huge portion of the territory. If it didn't, the US would. Suddenly, this ancient island became worth billions. So Mexico launched an official expedition, a fleet equipped with sonar, dive teams, researchers, everything. They reached the exact coordinates, only to find the ocean floor torn, disturbed, almost carved away. It looked like something had removed the island entirely, cut it from the seabed, erased it with surgical precision. Divers reported a strange burning sensation on their skin, the water around them unnaturally warm, even in deep ocean darkness. The mission was declared a failure. But the strangest part? Some of the officials who pushed to continue the search died mysteriously within months.
Rumors exploded. Some believed the island was deliberately blown up, that someone wanted Bermeja gone before oil negotiations began. Others pointed to government documents hinting at clandestine U.S. naval operations in the exact region where Bermeja used to be. But then came the most terrifying theory. Satellite scans revealed an unnatural drop in the seafloor, as if a massive structure once stood there and something dragged it down.
Locals whispered older stories, that Bermeja wasn't an island at all, but a living formation, a red mass that emerged, then retreated into the deep. One fisherman claimed he once saw something enormous moving beneath the coral there, an outline too symmetrical to be a creature, but too alive to be a rock. What if Bermeja didn't vanish? What if it moved? To this day, fishermen near the area report unexplainable things. The water often glows faint red at night, like blood diluted into the sea. Boats experience sudden temperature spikes, from freezing to warm in seconds. Some hear whispers through their radio static, in a language no one recognizes. Sonar systems detect solid structures moving underwater, then disappearing instantly. And divers occasionally emerge panicked, claiming they saw stair-like formations spiraling into the abyss. One diver swore he heard metal scraping beneath him, followed by a deep, rhythmic thud, like the heartbeat of something colossal. Another claimed he saw a structure that resembled a drowned city, with pillars, arches, and walls echoing with distant vibrations. If Bermeja wasn't just land, but something ancient, intelligent, and still moving, its disappearance is no mystery. Today, Bermeja remains the world's most unsettling maritime enigma. A place that existed for centuries, was documented by explorers, shown on maps, and then suddenly erased from reality. No wreckage, no remnants, no fragments on the ocean floor. Just a scar in the seabed and an ocean that still behaves strangely where the island once rested. Some scientists insist it eroded naturally. Others believe it was destroyed by humans. But locals? They have a different explanation. They say Bermeja was never an island. It was a warning, a living guardian of the deep. And when humans came too close, it simply slipped back into the darkness below. So the real question isn't why Bermeja disappeared. It's whether it's ever coming back.